Jordan!
Yeah, no.
Who was sitting there driving test, nervously tried to set off in first gear and reverse at the same time, accidentally triggered a temporal time loop, and now will be sitting there driving test forever?
Clint Eastwood?
No. Two guys. I don't know where that came from. Hello and welcome to episode 87 of Two Guys What's Up, the weekly comedy podcast where I never pass my driving test because I don't like cars. I prefer things that you can ride, like bikes, horses, and this guy Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
I'm good. I'm the best ride you've ever had.
A little bit sore after this morning, but...
It was worth it though, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely, mate. I got my f***ing rocks off.
I didn't realise you could move in such ways.
God, man. 48 seconds in.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realise that you could put your foot there.
That was an old move that I learnt when I was in gymnastics back when I was in my early 20s.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I can only pull it out, on special occasions, but I felt it was kind of worth it this morning. So, Jordan, how are you?
Well, I'm drinking a couple of Desperados. I actually have some. Cheers.
Oh, nice one. So you're actually having a drink this week?
I am indeed. So I have these. I've got two in preparation ready. Limes are in them.
Just two?
Yeah, two. That'll do. I don't need to go mad. I can enjoy it and then get some sleep after this because we have to sort of look after your son tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about that.
I mean, don't have to. I'll just bolt the door.
Don't have to at all. Just being a good friend,
But can I just say, I did not realise that the drink is actually Desperados.
Oh, is it with
an S on the end?
No. Oh, Mandela effect, anyone?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, since when? When does anyone say, right, I'm going to get me a bottle of Desperados?
Actually, ironically, whenever anyone references a supermarket, they always put an S on the end when there in fact isn't. So people go, oh, I'm off to Tesco's. But the shop is called Tesco.
It's very true.
I'm going to... actually, Morrison's.
Yeah, because it's not Morrison.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that's probably one of the ones that you can let off.
But it is wrong when you go, I'm off to Morrison's.
Or Sainsbury's. Is that an S on the end? Or am I just being stupid?
Yes, it is. Apostrophe S.
Okay, so I'm completely wrong.
No, because everyone goes, no, I'm off to Sainsbury.
Yeah, I'm sick of hearing it, mate, at this point.
Off to Waitroses.
M&S's.
Yeah.
I regret bringing it up now because it sounds stupid. What I should have said is when people go to Tesco, they actually add an Ed to it. Add an S to it.
Did you say an N?
Yes, I did say an N, okay? We'll just brush over that.
Right. What are you drinking, Ian?
Just a hearty glass of water, Jordan.
Oh, yeah, that H2O. But what else has got with it?
Nothing.
Not now. You drank it.
You downed it, mate. Right, so today I visited a place called, I don't know if it's called the Wolds or Waldies or something like that, because I always just knew it as the Lavender Place.
Are you sure you don't mean the Wold without an S?
I couldn't tell you, and at this point, mate, my whole life view on anything that ends in an S or doesn't has been completely blown out of the water because apparently I'm wrong.
True.
But putting that aside, because I'm used to being wrong,
fair.
I went to this place today with my children and my wife. It was a lovely day out. We've got loads of lavender farms, just like lavender growing everywhere, and there's so many different kinds of lavender, but they're also in the Wolds and they have a lot of ales that they sell. So I got 6 bottles because there was 6 types, so I had to try every one. So at the moment I am drinking a Headland Red. It is mellow malty red beer.
Oh, okay.
4.3%. 500 millilitres.
Interesting. My Desperados
don't
is
say 5.9%
volume and 250 mils, so this is strong shit.
Well, I have 500 mils and I have 3 bottles, okay? So screw you,
right,
I win again. Yeah. Which obviously is what you want whenever you're having a drinking session with your friend. You want to beat them and have the most alcohol.
Difference is, though, when you have alcohol, you start beating me.
Well, you told me you liked it that time, and I thought it got you in the mood, so why wouldn't I?
There's a difference between beating and beating me up.
Okay, sorry. That's my mistake.
Okay, that's honest error. So it's good that you're drinking 3 bottles of this ale.
Wold beer. Wold Top, it's called.
Oh, yeah, Wold Top Brewery.
That's the one, yeah.
Familiar.
I'm drinking 3 beers from them. I've got 3 more downstairs, plus a ton of bottles of spirits, so I'll probably be partaking in those. I'm going to turn up to yours tomorrow morning with my eyes looking like pitholes in the snow. Bloodshot, mate. I can't even see the house that we're going to view. By the way, yes, this is all in preparation for me and my wife are looking to move home.
Yay! Yay!
Because we might want a garden for our children.
And possibly a garage.
No garage. That one has been completely thwarted by the boss.
Why?
To be honest, we were sat in the house, right, and it felt a little strange.
Right.
It felt big, but it didn't because the kitchen was like a millimetre away from your face at all times.
Okay.
That's the end of my description. I can't really figure out how to word it differently. It's like there's nowhere to go. You're in the living room, and then you take one step to your right, and then you're in the dining room, and then you can see the kitchen, and there's no separating rooms. It's strange.
Right, I see. But you could live in the garage, and then you wouldn't have a problem.
Mate, I was planning to live in the garage. Put my drums out there, put my microphone out there, get me old best pal, I can't remember his name.
Tim?
I'll get you over, Jordan.
All right, yeah.
And then we can just record, like, all night, like music and podcasts and stuff, and my wife wouldn't have to put up my bullshit anymore.
To be honest, I'm surprised you didn't go for it there and then just for that reason.
Mate, that's what I thought. I dropped that in to the conversation because I thought she'd be like, yes, this is the place. Let's fucking get it right now.
Start squatting.
I was like, there's a garage. I could put my drums out there, hoping that her eyes would, sparkle and be like, oh, I could have some time away from this bastard. I'm not a bastard. Like, I don't know what I've ever done to upset my wife. I have done nothing but love her.
Yeah, no, it's not like you go up to random strangers at the children's play thing and then start hugging them.
Don't bring that up. I'd happily forget. I drink to forget that, mate.
Well, I'll drink to it. Cheers.
Now, mid-drink, I'm remembering it. That's never going to leave my head now. Thanks for that, Jordan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Ian, while you're downing your 3 bottles of ale...
I'm not going to down them, mate. Calm down. I'm not a madhead.
Well, eventually.
I'm going to drink them nicely.
Okay, that's what we like to hear. But it will mean that you're pretty gassy, and I hear that you've got a fairly lengthy segment today.
Well, I think I do. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, no, but I mean, this one you had to send it through like 3 separate emails because it reached the character max.
Yeah, so you at home, get prepared because this segment's going to go on for 18 hours. And because we can't be asked editing it, you were going to hear in real time the amount of times I f*** up whilst trying to read.
So it's actually 40 hours of content.
For all you two guys, what's up lovers, mate, you're in for a f***ing treat.
Oh, love it.
So I should ask, do you have anything prepared for this episode? Because I told you not to. Maybe slightly short-sightedly.
I got something a little different, a short thing just in case that we can tag on at the end.
Okay, right. Tell me what it is, me old pal.
Well, no, I'll let you know when we get there, because we might not yet. We might be 45 hours in.
Probably will be. I'll completely miss my appointment with the realtor. And you'll be like, I'm waiting, mate, but you're not at my f***ing door.
Well, it's all right, because I'll know where you are, because we'll still be here.
Either that, or I'll be in the car driving on my way to you, like trying to read my notes while so the guy walked into the living room. Get the f*** out of the way! He said to the ghost, please leave it's a red light, you dickhead! Stop!
Yeah, just take all your recording stuff to the new house.
Yeah.
Test it out.
The person will be like, so this is a lounge dining area. It's a very nice combination with lots of space and some delicious windows which let in all the light. And I'll be like, oh, that's very nice. And then the guy turned round the corner and what was there? A demon. She was like, no, there's no demons in this house, mate.
But the acoustics are lovely.
There's no demons, but it has a fantastic view of the garden where you can go out and spend all of your summer afternoons.
Sounds great, actually. I think I'll get it.
Jump in, mate.
So, Ian, what on earth have you got for us today on this potentially long, maybe just normal length segment?
Well, Jordan, today, as promised last week, I have a super strange story steeped in shadowy government operations, time travel, mind control, psychic powers, and alien encounters. 'Tis a tale that threads together the paranoia of Cold War America with the bizarre, the unbelievable, and the nightmarish. Any idea, Jordan?
Bloody hell, I mean, that is about everything you could ever possibly put into a story.
Yeah, what I actually did was just took about 18 different stories that I read and just melded them into one big disgusting paranormal story.
Perfect.
There's a porn film in there as well, so expect a bit of sex.
Oh, now I'm really invested.
Mate, I'm already hard. Can't wait.
You said Cold War and that was it.
Death and wartime, mate. Gets me every time.
It does. No, I've no idea. Do tell.
Well, Jordan, it's time for the big reveal. Today's tale is the story of the Montauk Project.
Not a clue.
Well, Jordan, this story is pure f***ing absolute madness. I do apologise for my disjointed storytelling, but everything is explained, everything is in there, and I cannot wait to tell you. So shall we just go ahead?
Please, let's do it. Oh, I've shaken this beer now and it's all gone frothy and it won't collapse.
Okay, you do know you're not supposed to shake carbonated beverages.
Yeah, no, but I've got a lime in there and I wanted to jig the lime around. You know, as you do.
You're insane. That's crazy talk.
Call me nuts.
Why would you want to jig the lime around?
To make it all limey. Is that a problem? Do you have an issue with limes?
I think to get the lime juice out, you generally have to squeeze them to break the membranes. Like, you can't just jig it around a beverage.
I haven't, like, put a whole lime in there. Like, really thumbed it in.
Well, surely it just been in there, it would have intertwined with all the delicious Desperados beverages anyway.
It sounds wrong when you say it like that.
Mate, you've opened my eyes, and that is how I will only ever refer to it from now on. On the bottle, does it have an S?
It does.
What the f***?
I'm not making it up.
This is madness.
And do you know where it's brewed from?
Oh, God knows. Cheltenham.
It's not the UK.
I could not tell you. I would expect probably Mexico, you know, because of the tequila in it. And
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Spanish or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's from the Netherlands.
Oh, really?
I would have never guessed.
I would absolutely f***ing laugh then if you were just like, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? It says here, Cheltenham.
Yeah, it says here, the Wolds.
I was there today.
It's the Wold.
I thought it was a rip-off brand. Desperados.
Yeah, that's why it's Desperados.
You did get them pretty cheap, didn't you? Maybe that's why.
Yeah, that is very true. It was 24 bottles for £21.
And what shop did you get them from? Moirisson's?
from Tesco.
Good. Well done. At least we got one correct.
Thanks.
Right. Okay, you ready here to this mental story?
I'm ready.
Originally named Camp Hero.
Some say I'm a camp hero.
You're my camp hero.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Camp Hero was built during World War II, and if you asked anyone wearing a black suit and sunglasses, they'd say that the newly renamed Montauk Air Force Base was built to guard the Atlantic coast against potential German attacks. Designed to look like a quaint fishing village from above, the station had a hidden radar tower, bunkers, and even gunner stations. After the war, it continued as a radar installation, tracking aircraft and monitoring Soviet activity during the Cold War, but by the 1970s, it had pretty much been abandoned, and only the massive radar dish remained standing, an eerie silhouette visible from miles around. Which was probably at least partially true, but now the desolate place would become the epicenter of one of the most bizarre conspiracy theories to date. The story begins with a man named Preston B. Nichols, an engineer and physicist with a background in electromagnetic research. Nichols published a book in 1992 titled The Montauk Project: Experiments in Time. In it, he claimed that he had recovered repressed memories of working on a secret government project at Montauk Air Force Base, and these memories, according to him, were buried deep in his subconscious and only brought to the surface through a combination of therapeutic techniques and recovered secret documents.
Okay, like hypnosis, or?
Yes, I think that's what it is supposed to mean. So like hypnotic regression.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Nichols described a series of experiments that were conducted at Montauk, all that were part of the broader initiative known as the Phoenix Project, which was supposedly an extension of the infamous Philadelphia experiment, which we spoke about last week.
Oh yeah, I love it when you put Philadelphia spread on the crackers.
No, John. That was our breakfast date 3 days ago. I'm talking about the episode that we released last Monday.
Oh, no, I still prefer the crackers.
No, okay. What I found weird, though, was when I put the Philadelphia on the toast and it teleported to New Jersey for a bit, came back with sailors embedded in it.
Oh, yeah, that was really odd. I just sort of overlooked that.
And just ate them anyway.
Yeah.
It's like when you get a little bit of that, you know, that black crust from the cooking process on bread. You're just like, I'm just going to overlook that. I don't care. I'm just going to eat it anyway.
Extra flavour.
Exactly. A little bit of protein. People protein. But in case you're new to this, and this is your first episode, welcome and here's a quick rundown. The Philadelphia experiment was an alleged 1943 naval experiment where the USS Navy tried to render the USS Eldridge invisible, but it was accidentally teleported to Norfolk in Virginia with horrifying consequences for the crew. But for a more in-depth rundown, you can go and listen to last week's episode, which is f***ing hilarious in my opinion.
While you enjoy some Philadelphia on a cracker.
Yeah, just grab some Philadelphia, grab a boat as a delicious topping.
Beautiful.
Boom! Anyway, back to today. The Montauk Project, as described by Nichols, began as an effort to develop powerful psychological warfare techniques, but specifically mind control. Researchers at the base supposedly worked on methods to influence and control human minds using electromagnetic fields, very reminiscent of the Philadelphia experiment. But to do this, they constructed a chair and creatively called it the Montauk Chair, which was designed to amplify psychic abilities. Test subjects, often homeless individuals or abducted children,
wow,
yeah, very moral, were strapped into this chair and subjected to intense electromagnetic waves.
Is this painful for them?
Couldn't tell you, mate. Never really experienced it, other than sticking a magnet to my head to see if there's a chip anywhere. Never really experienced any kind of electromagnetic wave.
Okay. Sounds horrible, though.
Sounds a little bit shit. I mean, to say the fact that, abducted children or homeless people, not very nice, to just nick them off the street.
I think abducted anybody is not great.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that's got to be a painful experience, to say the least. Especially to be abducted by the people who you think are supposed to be out there to help you.
True, yeah.
But Nichols said that the chair was able to amplify the powers of some of the subjects who developed psychic abilities and the power of telepathy and precognition. We spoke about precognition before, haven't we, John?
Have we?
Whoa, mate, that's like a dagger in my heart. Because I told you specifically a full segment on precognitive abilities before. Remember Lincoln? I spoke about that guy?
Oh, yeah, President Lincoln.
That's the one. For some reason, I don't know why, but I think it was the Bourbon Battle Royale episode. Don't know why I can remember that, but I can.
It just makes me think of biscuits.
Precisely. That's what we were referencing, so good job.
Thanks.
Oh, mate, you're so clever.
They do call me the camp hero.
Oh, hey. Nice callback.
Thanks.
Through more and more experiments, pushing the chair to its limits, the project leaders went on to discover that certain individuals, when placed in the chair, could materialize objects purely through the power of sheer thought, materializing physical items straight from their imagination. But the Montauk chair was just the f***ing beginning. This discovery led the team down a path toward more outlandish and dangerous experiments. As the project developed, it soon got into the realms of developing time travel technology. Nichols and others, including a man named Al Bielek, claimed that the Montauk chair could create a time vortex, a tunnel through time and space itself. Through this vortex, researchers could travel to different periods, both past and future, and Bielek, who also claimed to have been involved in the Philadelphia experiment, which is a crazy story, which I will get into shortly, so please don't forget, recounted how he was sent to various points in history. So what have we got to look forward to in the future, Jordan, is a question that I ask you, because I have the answer according to one Mr. Al Bielek, who was sent there himself. He said he was sent to the year 2137. Just 113 years from now, where he spent 6 weeks. And what do you think he was doing, mate? Do you think he was there talking to the locals, learning about some revolutionary disease-curing technology?
Was he rebranding Desperados as Desperado?
No, John, unfortunately not. He spent it recovering from the radiation injuries that he sustained during the Montauk experiments.
Ooh, that sounds nasty.
It. So the scientists are like, right, we've finally discovered a way to harness the power of time travel. We're going to go back and forward. We're going to find out all the secrets. Are you ready, mate? Off you pop. And he's like, yeah, sure, pal. No problem. I'm ready to go. I'm going to go into these. We're going to unlock all the secrets of everything that we ever wanted to know about. Right, so stick him in the machine. Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep. 7 minutes, 900. Press the button. And he gets there, right? And what's he going to do? Is he going to look around and be like, right, I feel a bit shit, so I probably best get to work? No, he's going to go, I think I'll have a nap. What are they going to do? They've been dead, 100 years?
It's true.
They're not going to do anything to me. So when he gets back, right, they're all eagerly awaiting his return with a massive banner saying, like, welcome back, me old pal. Oh, what did you learn from the future? What secrets did you uncover? And he's going to be like, beds are comfy in the future.
I have really vivid dreams.
Yeah, mate, catching up on all the rest that I've missed from you this experiment on me has been amazing. I'm wide awake, ready to go for another 10 years now.
It's a good job, isn't it?
But saying that, he was probably just hiding, because he described a world devastated by war and environmental disasters, where the population was greatly reduced. The governments were decentralised, meaning that the power had been sent out to local governments rather than just the one central one. In this world, he said, the government was just like, F this shit, mate. I don't give a f anymore. All you local little candidates in your own little areas can rule yourself. F off.
Washing the hands of them.
Precisely. Me old sausage.
Oh, thank you. Me old burger.
That's weird. Don't comment that again.
Sorry.
He also went to the year 2749, which is 725 years in the future from now, and he claimed to have spent 2 years here. He described the future as a utopian society governed by a form of artificial intelligence where floating cities existed and people lived in harmony without the need for money. Society was structured around a collective consciousness, and technology was so advanced that people had everything they needed.
Interesting, okay.
How would you feel about living in a world like that, Jordan, where anything you wanted could just be delivered at a mere thought?
To be fair, I'd probably love it.
You'd probably love it for about 10 minutes until you got bored.
I don't know. I think I could imagine lots of different things.
Yeah, but you'd be sat there, you'd be like, a 20-speed butt plug. Boom, there you go. And then, you'd do that for like half an hour and then you'd be bored. You'd be like, what else do I need? I don't know, a cheeseburger. There you go. Nice one. Love that.
Yeah.
But, with the possibility to imagine anything you could ever want, there'd be no point in getting it because there'd be no work toward.
True. Yeah, very true.
I always find, and I think this is a psychological phenomena, that the build-up and the wait and the go-toward of anything that you're kind of expecting is always better than actually getting to it.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that about anything, though, like the build-up to Christmas or someone's birthday or...
Well, that's exactly what I am saying. So with the ability to just make anything appear right in front of you is so rubbish because the best part of it is the build-up and the anticipation, the excitement that builds up to it. So you can be like, I want a £500 skateboard. Great, I've got it. So the bit in between you waiting to get it is the best part, and then you get it and you're like, that's pretty shit, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that. I do understand that. But nice to have the option.
If I could, I would, probably.
So, I want this house with this garage. Then you were like, boom, done it. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, but then, the roof would need redoing. I'd need to replace the kitchen.
Yeah, no, you can just get a new roof.
Yeah, fair point. Okay, take it all back. Curse you, materialism.
Yeah.
So, as well as time travel, Bielik also said that he experienced different timelines and realities too. He said that these alternate realities were created or accessed through the experiments, which led to a complex web of different possible futures and past events. He said that he had encounters with extraterrestrial beings who got involved in the Montauk Project, working alongside the US government in all of these experiments. And those last 2 points are very interesting, and I want to tell you why, John.
Go on, do tell.
Well, completely side note, but it is speculated by some researchers that aliens have the technological capability and are able to create new universes or dimensions, which is where they abduct people to. So it's just outside of space and time. So this whole time travel / creating parallel universes and the fact that these aliens were involved in the project itself may give a little bit of credence to the theory, should this all be true, of course.
Of course.
So it is theorised by some researchers that aliens will abduct you, they'll create a little pocket outside of your time and space, they'll move into there, perform all the shit, put you back, and then that's why it's just like a memory blank for you.
That is kind of scary thought, though.
Of course it is. Well, I mean, aliens are scary for me anyway. My brother actually sent me a video of an alien grey being examined today, and it looked fairly real. Obviously, I'm not one to just be like, oh my god, there's the evidence. But it was horrible, and, it was a grey on a table, and I said, thanks. And he said somewhat along the lines of, I do what I can for you, brother. I was like, you dirty scum-sucking fucking bastard.
Brotherly love. What are families for, eh?
Not sending each other their worst fears, I can tell you that.
Well, I think you should have words.
I did. I said, thanks, you dickhead. And he said, you got it, brother. Love you. Laughed in my face.
Oh, well, I can see why.
You hate me too as well. Yeah, fine, I get it. So Bielik also described in detail how he and others were sent on missions through time, sometimes altering events in subtle ways to benefit the US government. And now for that crazy story that I mentioned about Al Bielik claiming that he was involved in the Philadelphia experiment in 1943. Do you remember what I said, Jordan?
I
knew this would happen. I said, a little bit before, but that's a crazy story. Don't forget it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Thought you might. It's all those desperados as you've been drinking.
Sorry, I can't help it.
But honestly, hold on to your knees, staple them to your earlobes, do a little backflip in your chair because shit's about to get mental.
Oh dear.
According to his story, he and his brother jumped off the USS Eldridge during the experiment as it was about to get started, and it began doing all that funky weird shit. But as they jumped, they said that they landed in a time portal which led them to being transported into the future, landing in 1983 and becoming part of the Montauk Project.
Right.
So I'm just going to emphasize this. They were brothers. They jumped off the ship, right? So remember that, because that comes up a little later.
Okay, I will not forget.
Write it on your hand, slap it against your forehead. According to Nichols, these experiments in time travel were not without consequences. Opening time portals supposedly unleashed terrifying creatures, one being the monstrous beast conjured from a subject's subconscious that rampaged through the base before being subdued and sent back through the vortex. The creature came to creatively be known as the Montauk Monster.
Nice.
A particularly dark aspect of the project involved the so-called Montauk Boys. These were young boys allegedly abducted and brought to the base for experimentation. Many were subjected to the Montauk chair, where they became brainwashed, mind-controlled, and programmed for covert operations. Some of these boys were said to have been sent through the time portals to accomplish missions in different eras, and Nichols and other whistleblowers claimed that the trauma and experimentation left many of these boys mentally shattered, their memories erased, only for them to be discarded once they were no longer useful. Which is sad.
Oh, that's awful, yeah.
Isn't it? F***ing horrible. Should have put a trigger warning. My apologies.
I just realised, you using a straw?
Yes, I'm using a straw because I drank the rest of my cocktail from last night that I wanted to make sure there wasn't a slug in.
What, in your fridge?
Mate.
Do you think that's where they hang out?
So much to unpack from that sentence. I'm not even going to involve it. So I drank the rest of my cocktail from my delicious cup, and then my beer that I just drank said it was called red beer. So I wanted to make sure it was red. It wasn't.
Right, okay. And you thought a straw would help you with that?
Well, no, there's just a straw in the glass. So, I thought, it, why not? I'll be posh.
Yeah, because you see a glass with the straw in it and you think, f***ing hell, if I could be that posh.
Holy bastard, that guy's upper class.
Oh dear. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, this is a dark one, this one.
What, the straw or the drink?
Yeah, the straw's like, kill your family. I was like, whoa, this one's a dark one. No, the ale is a rather dark one. It's a full-bodied ale carrying rich rewards. Ooh, rich, dark and smooth. Notes of black coffee and dark chocolate married. Fucking hell, there was a ceremony with sweet marmalade. Ew, don't like that. And tangy lemon. Don't like that either. Create a luxurious balance of sweet and savoury. Fabulous with both. Can you believe that I can read the back of a beer bottle but not my own notes?
I can. I really can.
I guess that says something about my writing skills.
I think it does. Ooh, something's just pinged up.
Oh.
Derren Brown's got a new tour coming out next year.
Way!
Called Only Human.
Get tickets so we can shout at him for how rubbish his show was and the fact that it gave us COVID. What was it called?
Unbelievable.
That's the one. I want to pelt him with tomatoes for that. Or maybe this tour is just going to be one massive apology. Like, I'm sorry for the show. I'm only human. Okay?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, perfect.
Right, I apologise. I digress. Let's carry on, shall we? Because now we introduce another guy, Duncan Cameron, who came out and corroborated the story, claimed to be one of the key psychics involved in the Montauk experiments, and his accounts included descriptions of travelling to Mars, encountering aliens, and participating in experiments that tampered with the fabric of reality itself. But now, Jordan, things get f***ing weird.
Okay.
Duncan Cameron claimed to have been with Al Bielik aboard the USS Eldridge during the Philadelphia experiment in 1943, and they were brothers. The same brothers who I mentioned earlier who jumped off the boat, landing in a time portal, and yes, it's f***ing confusing, so let me explain.
Please do.
No, Al Bielik and Duncan Cameron were not actual biological brothers. However, what Bielik claimed is that they were brothers in a previous life or timeline. Bielik said that he was originally born as Edward Cameron and Duncan Cameron was his biological brother. They jumped off the boat under these original identities. Bielik claimed that after their time travel to 1983, his consciousness was transferred into a new body and identity as Al Bielik. Duncan Cameron, however, is said to have retained his identity but was somehow reinserted into a different timeline and body.
Wait, what?
Not finished.
No, okay.
So Al Bielik and Duncan Cameron are said to have been brothers, but they were not brothers in a conventional sense.
So are you saying that maybe they... Oh, wait, no. Do they become brothers because of the experiments? Wait, what? I'm not sure.
Let's rewind. They were brothers in the original timeline, but when they jumped off together, one of them was reincarnated in a different body, and one of them switched consciousnesses, essentially.
Okay.
So one of them, I guess, died maybe, and his conscious switched to a different person, and the other one, his consciousness was moved to the same person in this timeline. Maybe.
That's still weird. I can't get my head around it.
All I did was take the information and relay it to you. Knows, essentially.
Fair enough.
Anyway, let's just not spend too much time because we could be here for hours. So, back to Cameron. He was allegedly a key participant in various experiments, with his speciality being in mind control, psychic abilities, and time travel. He was said to be able to open portals to other dimensions and times, and access alternate realities, and create objects, and even beings through his mind. And yes, f***ing spoiler, it was apparently this guy that created the monstrous Montauk monster purely from the depth of his mind.
Right, there's a lot of interplay now, isn't there?
Yeah, I couldn't have been like, the Montauk monster, which was created by David Cameron, and then, be like, oh, by the way, he did this, and then go back to what I was saying before. So, should have said this at the beginning, maybe. Lot to remember in this episode.
And did you say David Cameron?
Maybe.
Is that what he was getting up to when he was working for Labour?
Meant to say Duncan Cameron, not gonna lie. Hilarious.
We'll brush past that.
Please do, because I can't remember. Duncan claims that he was involved in the creation of time bubbles, where small pockets of time could be isolated or manipulated, which allowed the Montauk team to access different points in time and space, which is, please refer to my earlier crazy conspiracy about aliens abducting people into separate universes, etc. But this shit just gets f***ing crazier and crazier, and I believe this is my last point, so please hold on tight, Jordan.
So this is the tip of the crazy berg.
Did you say burger?
I called you one earlier. You didn't like it.
Well, I haven't had tea, and now I'm through my beers. I'm feeling a little bit hungry. It's like after a night out, you just want a pizza on the way home. I've had the alcohol, now I want a burger.
To be honest, that is the great way to finish the night.
Yeah, for saddos like us.
That was always my aim when I went out.
Yeah.
I'm only taking one thing home with me, and that's a 12-inch meat feast.
There was a video that you and I put on, what was it, in Vine? Where I was like, oh, finally, after all these years, I'm on a night out, I've finally managed to take someone home with me, and I moved the camera over, and it's you, under the blanket.
Yeah, I do remember that. Wow.
If we can find it, let's put it on Instagram.
Yeah, please.
Right, so here comes the crazy. So Duncan Cameron was apparently reincarnated after the original Duncan died during early Montauk experiments. His consciousness was transferred into a new body, his memories suppressed, and it wasn't until later, through recovered memories, that he became aware of his involvement in the Montauk Project. But, Jordan, not all these testimonies were from supposed participants. Some local residents around Montauk also came forward to back up this f***ing absolute madness. Some locals reported seeing strange lights, hearing unexplained noises, and feeling a sense of unease around the base. But what exactly happened to the base, the project, and why was it shut down? Well, as I said earlier, Paul Duncan created this monster that ravaged through the base, and he is often given the prestigious title of the guy who kicked off the beginning of the end of the Montauk Project. It is said that, after realising the dangers of the experiments, he and others involved decided to sabotage the project. This is where the monster comes into play. And it all seems like Cameron intended to bring the creature through, setting it on its rampage, destroying part of the Montauk's facility, which led to the project's shutdown.
Oh, okay.
So, what's his name? David Cameron? He's a good guy after all. We can all stop hating him as a nation.
Yeah, fair enough.
So the Montauk Project today has sparked numerous theories. Some believe it was a hoax. or even a form of disinformation designed to cover up the real but less fantastical government experiments. Others speculate that it's a distorted version of real events, or perhaps even psychological warfare research. But whatever the it is, today, Montauk Base is a state park and open to the public. The radar dish still stands, rusting and silent, a relic of another perhaps spookier time. Visitors can walk around the grounds, explore the old bunkers, and gaze upon the remnants of what some believe to be the site of one of the greatest conspiracies of all time. But Jordan, I don't give a about that, because all I want to know is what the hell you think after hearing all of that. I haven't got a single bit of input from you. Where the have you been, pal? Tell me what you think.
I think Desperado should not have an S.
Mate, I completely agree with you.
No. Yeah, never heard of this conspiracy at all, considering it's one of the greatest ones, apparently.
I'm sure you live under a rock, mate. After what, 87 episodes, I've told you about things.
Yeah.
I mean, considering you love the paranormal, I tell you about this and you're like, no, mate, don't know that one.
See, here's the thing, right? I nowadays purposely try not to look for them because I like to be surprised when you present them to me.
Oh, that's so sweet. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't really actively look for things. I mean, I'll sort of, if I'm mindlessly scrolling through TikTok and something comes up, I'll watch it. But yeah, I don't actively go out looking for conspiracies just because I think, well, Ian's got that covered.
Oh,
I can enjoy that in some content.
I love how much trust you're putting in me.
Why, what are you saying? Is this all bollocks? Lol jokes.
All I was thinking of, I wrote this on a Monday, so I'm thinking, right, this is a Monday and I'm going to talk about something. What am I going to call this conspiracy? Montauk. That'll do.
Yeah.
Just wrote a load of bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And also, mon is my in French, so maybe it's quite literally, it's your talk.
My talk, yeah. What's Ted in French?
TED talk.
It's silent. My talk. So, Jordan, can you remember that story from beginning to end?
Yeah, I'll tell you it word for word, shall I?
Please do.
No, I'm still not quite got my head around it. I think I will once I listen to this back in the edit.
Right, okay, so based on what you've heard, I think this is something that could be real? Something that's fathomable?
It's a difficult one, because I'm not such a massive believer of sort of time travel and things like that generally, but having said that, I feel like it is probably something that the government is capable of. Little details like kidnapping people and vulnerable children, or...
Yep.
Unfortunately, I can believe it. I bet it happens.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is not something that I would put past a government who would maybe put the protection and safety of their state above their morals.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
David Cameron's got a lot to answer for.
But Jordan, that is it for my telling of the Montauk story. I wanted to tell this a long time ago, but it was just back in the early days, I just didn't know how I would tackle it. And I still didn't, so I just threw a load of paragraphs on a wall and read it out as it came. So I've done it now.
Good.
I'm happy.
Yeah, well done.
Here's a little bit of a fact for you, which I forgot to include. I said last week that this inspired a Netflix series, and that Netflix series was Stranger Things.
Oh, I've never seen that either.
You bloody what, mate?
I just...
You just completely shut yourself off from all media. Like, he's got this covered. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I'm hoping you'll do a segment on Stranger Things.
Well, it's got the psychic abilities. It's got the monsters coming through. It's got the alternate realities. It's got all that sort of stuff. And I remember hearing somewhere in the back vague archive of my mind that they were going to call the show Montauk. Oh. And the US government was like, dickhead, you ain't f***ing doing that. That brings too much attention to us. You call it something else.
Interesting, okay. And my talk just sounded a bit crap.
Exactly, yeah. They were like, you ain't putting French into the ears of our US listeners, pal. Because we are Stars and Stripes and that's it. No wine and baguettes over here, pal. Just beer and freedom.
I do love a bit of garlic, though.
Mate, I love garlic.
Well, thank you for giving us your retelling of the Montauk, do you call it experiment, I guess?
That's the one, bruv.
So thank you very much for doing that, because I haven't heard of it, and I'm sure when I edit this down, I will be able to digest it all properly and enjoy it even more.
1 minute you're here, next minute you're there. Next minute, you're in the year 2175 and you've got radiation poisoning. Man, I don't know what I'm on about anymore.
Me neither.
Right, Jordan, so I believe you had a segment for me.
Because you told me that your segment was likely going to be pretty long, and indeed it was.
See, I'm not a liar. When I say things are big, they are big.
when it comes to stories. Potential factual or fictional stories.
Anything I say is fictional, mate.
So in light of that, I just prepared something pretty short, but it's not the usual thing that I'm going for. I'm actually going for something that's more of the magical theme today.
Oh, nice one. We have been trying to incorporate the whole magic thing into an episode for 87 now, and I think we've spoken about it twice. 2 episodes. We've had a magical theme, so I cannot f***ing wait.
Well, you'll know of this anyway, but...
Oh, well, I don't want to hear it then, mate.
But I'm not sure if many of our listeners will have, so I figured, you know what, let's give it a go.
All right, go on then. What is it?
I'm pretty fascinated by fortune telling and horoscopes and astrology and the like, but admit I am not much of a believer in all of that stuff myself, but I still find the subject fascinating.
Yeah.
And since I don't have too much longer today, I just want to share with you and all our listeners an interesting effect that Derren Brown once performed to a small group of people, and I want to describe in detail what happened, and you'll see why I'm doing so as things progress.
I can't wait.
The idea essentially is that Derren has 5 volunteers stood around a table. The table's covered with sheets of blank A4 paper. There's pens, pencils and A4 envelopes. He instructs them each to take a sheet of the paper and draw around their hand and to write on that sheet their birthday and, if they happen to know it, their time of birth as well.
Do you know your time of birth?
I don't. I was adopted.
Of course. My mistake.
Not that that matters.
Sorry for bringing that up. I am f***ing cursed, I'm sure.
Oh no.
So I was born on the 11th of the 1st.
Right.
And 111, I know it's one of those f***ing numbers that everyone says it and it's a hokey kind of thing, but 111 haunts me. It's everywhere.
Oh.
I was born at 11 minutes past 9.
Okay.
And guess how much I weighed?
9 stone, 11 pounds.
Close, mate. 9/11.
Did you really?
I did. I was born at 11 minutes past 9 and I was weighed at 9 pounds 11 ounces.
That's pretty hefty.
I feel like I'm cursed.
Yeah, and eventually that became a whole new meaning.
Tied to me, it's pretty shit.
That's very true. It's all your fault.
Oh! Yeah, that's what my wife says.
About anything and everything.
Precisely.
So I will continue.
Please.
They were also instructed to take a small personal object and to put it into one of the 5 numbered envelopes on the table. So basically, Derren looks away, but he asks them to remember which number is their envelope, because they'll need that to identify which is theirs later on.
Right, so they've drawn around their hand.
Yep, with his back turned.
Yep.
They've put their time of birth and their birth date, put them into their numbered envelope.
With a personal item.
With a small personal item inside.
Or is there some guy, I don't know, trying to put his car in it or something? Do you have a bigger envelope?
So then Derren turns back around, he takes them all back, they're sealed now, and he says he's going to take the envelopes away and he will try to write a description of the personalities of the owners of those things. He says it's going to take about an hour to do, and he will try and be accurate, so he's not going for something that's too general, and he's going to be very specific about things. So then he comes back out about an hour later, and the volunteers at this point are all sat there enjoying refreshments and kind of chatting amongst themselves. He puts the numbered envelopes on the table, and then he asks the volunteers to collect their own one and to go off and space themselves out around the room and privately read their own personal reading.
Right.
Which he would then ask each of them what they thought of that. So they do so, and interestingly, 4 out of the 5 participants found the reading to be, in their words, 80 to 90% accurate.
That 20% that didn't?
They couldn't read.
Yeah, because the monster truck that they inserted into their envelope just crushed the paper.
Yeah, it was silly of them, really.
He shouldn't have been invited.
No, I think they ended up running him over with that monster truck. And a couple of them even went as far as to say that they would not want anybody else to read what he had written because they found it so personal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so pretty accurate. So Derren then asked them to remove their readings from the envelopes, turn them face down and mix them up between them and redistribute them between themselves in order to see if the others can work out whose they've happened upon.
Okay.
But of course they end up with their own. So they end up remixing them together amongst themselves, redistributing, but the same thing happens.
Right.
And of course the penny soon drops that they've actually all been reading each other's and they'd been given the same reading.
Very clever.
So this was, of course, the Barnum Statements by P.T. Barnum. And he famously said, "A sucker is born every minute." And now, that is not what I'm talking about here, of course. Like I said, while I don't personally believe in horoscopes or astrology, things like that, I do think it's a fascinating subject. And the other thing I find interesting is that Derren performed this effect to different groups in different countries that even spoke different languages, and he had a translator with him, and they all yielded the same findings.
No way. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I just think it's an interesting idea that we're all prone to basically the same doubts, the same fears, essentially the same feelings that we all think is so private and personal. Actually, we all share it.
Which begs the question. When people are in wars or people are fighting with each other, these things that we call borders, which separate us all and segregate us all, what the are they actually about?
It's true. And jails.
Yeah, well... The people who live there probably did bad things.
True.
You know, but people are sent to these horrible places by the people who want them to fight their wars, and we could just all stand together and just go, you, because we're actually all just going to be pals.
Exactly.
In an ideal world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it would take that much, really.
Just a quick hand job here or there.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to make people happier.
Exactly, yeah. Imagine that. Like, you're on the battlefield, some guy stood over you with a rifle. It's like, for Queen and country! It's like, how about handy? Oops, my gun has accidentally found itself uncocked.
Do you have a gun in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? Both.
Yeah, mate, I have an erection and a gun trained on your face. I've accidentally gone a little bit of a tangent here, but I see where you're coming from. We are all essentially the same.
Exactly, yeah. So it doesn't really matter, in a sense, how big you think a problem kind of is, to an extent.
Yeah.
And just to kind of top things off here, I actually have the exact reading written by Derren Brown that he gave to each of those volunteers.
Oh, f***ing hell, read it to me, mate.
Well, he shared this in his old book now called Trick of the Mind.
I thought you were going to go, well, no. Leave us all hanging.
And I think for those interested, I will read that to you in the extended outro of this episode.
Good idea, Jordan. I love it.
So if you want to listen to that, wait till the music credits finish and I will read you the whole thing. Maybe consider what you would think of that reading if it was given to you and you didn't know the true secret behind it.
And maybe also consider the outro and maybe consider pledging to the £3 Patreon tier where you get bonus episodes every month with 15 already just sat there waiting for you to go and have a little listen to.
Definitely. That goes without saying.
Right, so Jordan, is that where we're leaving it today then?
I think we should, Ian.
Nice f***ing one, me old pal. I just need to find an outro.
I don't know if your thing had one on it, actually, but
it didn't.
I think I remember it anyway.
Oh, you're going to do this to me again, are you?
We'll test it. We'll try.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Two Guys What's Up. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen to us so you don't miss another episode, and maybe even tell a friend. Take your friend to the Montauk base, strap him in a chair, blast him with Two Guys What's Up.
Because if that wasn't torture enough, it's only going to get worse.
They're like, oh no, the Montauk chair. Oh no, Two Guys What's Up! Ah!
What you'll have to remind me what it starts with now, my bit.
Oh, what? I have to remind you, Jordan? Despicable.
Sorry.
If you would like...
Okay, yeah. So if you would like to get in touch... Oh.
There was no so at the beginning, mate. It was just if.
Okay, I stand corrected. If you would like to get in touch with us, I will link
Hang on a second. I'm pretty sure you're sat down. So you do not stand corrected, mate. You sit down corrected.
It's true.
Any more wrongness you want to shove in my face, mate?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, right, I'll let you off. Go ahead. My apologies. Go ahead.
And if you would like to get in touch with us, our Linktree link is in the bio of
this. One second. Good job there.
Thank you.
You didn't say so at the beginning. That's good job. Good job.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I just want to let you know it's not all negativity on this podcast. You know, there's some positivity.
Good.
Just want to let you know you're doing a good job. That was nice. Well taken on board.
Thank you very much. But I'm just going to carry on anyway if you interrupt me.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead. Oh, wait, what?
I'm just going to ignore you.
I'll put you to the test. Go ahead.
I'll just take my earphones out.
You wouldn't know when I finish my next section. He's just sat there like, I'm not listening.
If you would like to get in touch with us, our Linktree link is in the bio of this episode, which you can click on and be jetted off to every single link you will ever need for all your Two Guys What's Up essentials.
Delicious.
Want to get your own Two Guys What's Up t-shirt? Click the link.
Want to hear Jordan's extended thing from Derren Brown? Click the link.
Want to go see his new show next year called Only Human? You'd probably better click his link instead.
And don't forget, we now have Patreon, where you can find all of your Two Guys What's Up extra essentials, including pin badges, shout-outs, t-shirts, and if you really can't get enough of our fantastic tales and drunk voices, well, now you can get more, because we now release bonus episodes which come out on the last Friday of every single month. I think I said 15 earlier, but I believe it's 14. Just sitting there right now, waiting for your ears to just go and have a little deep throating gobble of all that extra audio goodness. I mean, I did sound effects. Just sitting there right now, and all that is available for just £3 a month.
Bargain. So if you want to help support the show and get some cool stuff while you do so, head over to patreon.com/Two Guys What's Up to check out all the goodies over there. The link will be down below for your pleasure.
But if you can't do that, but you'd still like to help us out, then a 5-star rating and review in your podcast app of choice would be the best and freest way to help us out, and we would be forever grateful. And I wouldn't mind saying that Jordan might come round to your house and tickle your little widge.
I'm not going to say anything.
But on that note, thanks for listening. Have an amazing week, guys, and we will see you next Monday.
Au
Bye.
revoir. Allow me to read a little excerpt from Derren Brown's Trick of the Mind book, and it reads, "You are a person prone to bouts of self-examination. This is in sharp contrast to a striking ability you've developed to appear very socially engaged, even the life and soul of the party, but in a way that only convinces others. You are all too aware of it being a facade. This means you will often be at a gathering and find yourself playing a part. While on one hand you'll be talkative and funny, you'll be detaching yourself to the point where you will find yourself watching everything going on around you and feeling utterly unable to engage. You'll play conversations back to yourself in your head and wonder what that person really meant when he said such and such, conversations that other people wouldn't give a second thought to. And how have you learned to deal with this conflict? Through exercising control. You like to show a calm, self-assured, fluid kind of stability. But because this is self-consciously created, it will create bouts of frustrated silliness and a delight in extremes, or at least a delight in being seen to be extreme. You most easily recognize this control in how you are with the other people around you. You have learned to protect yourself by keeping people at bay. Because in the past you have learned to be disappointed by people, you instinctively keep people at arm's length until you decide they're allowed over that magic line into your group of close friends. However, once across that line, the problem is that an emotional dependency kicks in, which leaves you feeling very hurt or rejected if it appears that they have betrayed that status. Because you are prone to self-examination, you will be aware of these traits. However, you are unusually able to examine even that self-examination, which means that you have become concerned about what the real you is. You have become all too aware of facades, of sides of yourself which you present to the world, and you wonder if you have lost touch with the real and spontaneous you. You are very creative and have tried different avenues that utilize that ability. It may not be that you specifically, say, paint. It may be that your creativity shows itself in more subtle ways. But you will certainly find yourself having vivid and well-framed ideas which others will find hard to grasp. You set high standards for yourself though, and in many ways you are a bit of a perfectionist. The problem is though, that it means that you often don't get stuff done because you are frustrated by the idea of mediocrity and are wearied by the idea of starting something afresh. However, once your brain is engaged, you'll find yourself sailing. Very much this will likely lead you to having considered writing a novel or some such, but a fear that you won't be able to achieve quite what you want stops you from getting on with it. But you have a real vision for things, which others fall short of. Particularly in your academic/college situation, you are currently fighting against restraints upon your desire to express yourself freely. Your relationship with your parents, there is a suggestion that one is no longer around or at least emotionally absent, is under some strain. You wish to remain fond of them, but recent issues are causing frustration. From your side, far more than theirs. In fact, they seem unaware of your thoughts on the matter. Partly this is because there are ways in which you have been made to feel isolated from certain groups in the past, something of an outsider. Now, what is happening is that you are taking that outsider role and defending it to the point of consciously avoiding being part of a group. And this will serve you well in your creative and career pursuits. You have an enormous cynicism towards those who prefer to be part of a group or exhibit any cliquey behaviour, and you always feel a pang of disappointment when you see your close friends seemingly follow that route. Deep down it feels like rejection. However, for all of that introspection, you have developed a sensational, dry sense of humour that makes connections quickly and wittily and will leave you making jokes that go right over the heads of others. You delight in it so much that you'll often rehearse jokes or amusing voices to yourself in order to spontaneously impress others with them. But this is a healthy desire to impress, and although you hate catching yourself at it, it's nothing to be so worried about. There's also an odd feeling that you should have been born in a different century. Now, you might be able to make more sense of that than I can. There are some strong monetary shifts taking place at the moment, both the recent and past, and what's in store over the next few months represent quite a change. You have links at the moment with overseas, which are quite interesting, and will look to yield worthwhile results. You're naturally a little disorganised. A look around your living room would show you a box of photos unorganised into albums, out-of-date medicines, broken items not thrown out, and notes to yourself which are significantly out of date. Something related to this is that you lack motivation. Because you're resourceful and talented enough to be pretty successful when you put your mind to things, this encourages you to procrastinate and put them off. Equally, you've given up on dreams a little easily when your mind flitted elsewhere. There are in your home signs of an excursion into playing a musical instrument, which you have since abandoned or finding yourself less interested in. Now, this may alternatively relate to poetry and creative writing you've briefly tried your hand at and left behind you. You have a real capacity for deciding that such and such a thing or so and so a person will be the be-all and end-all of everything and be with you forever. But you'd rather try and fail and swim one extreme to the other than settle for the little that you see others contend with. Conclusion: it's been very interesting doing your reading, as you do present something of a conundrum, which won't surprise you. You are certainly bright, but unusually open to life's possibilities, something not normally found among achieving people. I'd say you'd do well to be less self-absorbed, as it tends to distance you a little, and to relinquish some of the control you exercise when you present that stylized version of yourself to others. You could let people in a little more, but I'm aware that there is a darkness you feel you should hide, and much of this is in a personal or relationship or sexual area and related to a neediness which you don't like. You really have an appealing personality, genuinely. Many thanks for doing this and for offering something far more substantial than most.
I admit it, right? So what is it? Just like a little bum tap or something? You know, is that the cheeky little spanking that you know?
I mean, it depends how many drinks I've had.
Little clap on the cheek, so you like get the lube.
Which cheek?
The downstairs cheeks.
Love it. Okay, brilliant. Well.